Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to an absolutely spectacular, fantabulous, absolutely awesome episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have a guy that is making work suck less. His play-oriented approach to work heals workplaces, builds psychological safety, and creates a playground atmosphere that motivates everyone to do their most vibrant work. I got a chance to hang out with him on a makeshift dance carpet in Orlando, Florida. And I said, you got to come back on the show. And he goes, yes, I got to come back on the show because, whoa, my goodness, we got to bring the fun. Bringing the fun. Jeff Harry, welcome to Thrive Loud, my friend.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate doing the Running Man with you at NSA.
There's nothing quite like two guys doing a Running Man. There was some guy there who's like, I think he's part of the video staff, who all of a sudden started really good pop breakdancing, like better than I've ever seen. And everyone just kind of said, okay, we got to leave the dance floor now.
Do you remember the guy that did the worm?
Oh, yeah, he kept doing the worm. He probably has rug burn.
Doing it.
Yes. I mean, there's like a limitation. I actually got we're going to give a shout out. I was next to, what's Judd's last name? Who did the whole dance routine earlier in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And Judd, basically, we saw what was going on the dance floor, and then someone comes on and just does something amazing, and he looks at me and goes, this is when you're supposed to just back off and just wait a little bit.
This is when you got to shut it. I believe that guy did the worm through my legs, and I was like, I think I'm done for the night.
Yes, that would be the evening. Well, anyway, first of all, great to see you again. Great to have you here. Let's get our listeners caught up a little bit. It's been a long time since you've been on the program.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, though, he still has his tie, if you could see it, on a t-shirt.
Still rocking the Lego bow tie.
The Lego bow tie. I love the Lego bow tie. So I want to catch up with you, and let's do that like little rewind and see what's been going on in the world that is Jeff Harry.
Yeah. So when was the last time we spoke? We must have spoken
it's a few
years ago.
Yeah, it may even have been
ago.
It may have been like around pandemic time, to be complete. Yeah.
That's when I just started doing podcasts. So since then, I remember I was like, I'm going to do 100 podcasts. So I did 100 podcasts in 2020. I think I did another 150 in 2021. And while doing that, I realized I had like all these talks in my head, that all these sound bites that I was like, oh, I can actually do something with this stuff. So I created like 7 or 8 different workshops around like psychological safety, navigating difficult conversations, how to play with your inner critic, but all through like the lens of play and positive psychology. I even have a workshop I'm running in Florida. I'm going literally back to the exact same place where we were. And the workshop's called Why Ted Lasso's Feminine and Masculine Leadership Matters.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
So all of my workshops really are about like healing division in workplaces, because like, man, there is a massive gap between what employers want and what employees need. So, and we're not having that conversation enough. And that's where I feel play has that ability to bridge that gap.
So I got a really good question, because I thought about this, because what you just hit is really important. Jeff does probably some of the most entertaining social media messaging around what's going on in the workplace, and really from that employee view of what's fair, what makes the most sense. And to go in and get an organization to connect the way it should and feel like they have an environment that is a psychologically playful place to be and a comfortable place for them to be, it's got to come from leadership, this messaging
Yeah.
that they're behind it. So that the challenge I know you must have is getting leadership on board, that maybe making it simple that work does suck for some people.
Yeah.
So how do you have that conversation to help kind of light the light bulb inside that says, look, I do some really amazing things. You can see all the things that I do, but let's try to figure out if this is something that fits for you.
Yeah. So a message that I communicate, that I actually got introduced by Kevin Carroll, this
Mhm.
phenomenal play thought leader. He was quoting Stephen Johnson, this really amazing author, and Stephen Johnson says, "You'll find the future where people are having the most fun." Right. So you'll find innovation, creativity, all the things that make a company thrive, where people are having joy, where there's happiness, where there's gratitude, where and a lot of people don't remember this, but back in like 1999, Amazon was the place to be for a lot of tech heads,
Right.
right? He was tackling some of the most interesting, fascinating things. TikTok has been, blowing up in the last few years because it's tackling some really fascinating opportunities that other places aren't willing to touch. When you look at certain organizations that are willing to take those risks and play, that is ensuring that you don't become obsolete. So when
Mhm.
I'm talking to an organization, I'm like, you can keep doing what you're doing, but you might end up being the next Blockbuster, right? You might end up being the next Sears, right? Like you might still be around, but you're not going to be relevant.
Yeah.
So, and especially when I'm talking to even smaller businesses, you have a freedom that a lot of these, Fortune 500 companies can't. Your ability to provide flexibility, your ability to provide opportunities for your staff to pursue things that they wouldn't probably be able to pursue if they were part of a larger cog of a machine. What are you doing to entice people so that they actually feel as if they're able to do their zone of genius work at work, right? Their
Yeah.
flow work, the work where they forget about time. How are we spending even just a little bit of time focused on that? Because that ultimately will lead to lower turnover, higher productivity, and frankly, just higher engagement because they know that you care for them more as human beings and not just like human doings.
Mm, I love that. I've noticed something with a lot of the clients I work with and the companies I've seen, even some of the in-person meetings that I've done. And obviously, we know this. There's way more engagement that you can create and more fun you can make in a playground when the playground is real and you could actually all be
Mm-hmm.
together in that spot. But as you and I know, and as many of the people who listen to this program, there is still a very large component of the work that is virtual or apart or just not all in one location. And to get fun to happen and to make that component more enjoyable, to make your work a little bit more enjoyable in that when you're not in the same building is hard. How can we play in the space when we're not playing in the same playground in the same building?
Well, I think there's this understanding, or lack of understanding, that people have to play at the same time in the same way, right?
Hmm.
So there's first that type, right? Like when I refer to zone of genius work, I talk about like, Google used to do this 20% rule where they would give their staff like a fifth of their time to do whatever they wanted as long as it benefited Google, right? They gave them freedom to play as long as it provided Google some value. What came from that? Gmail, AdSense,
Yeah.
Google News, Google Earth, like the foundations of Google came from play. So there's certain types of play, right? So there's the play of like, okay, what freedom am I giving my staff so they can pursue things that they find really fun and really engaging that they can do on their own, or they can also do in collaboration with someone, whether I'm right next to them or not. That's one type of play, right? And then there's more of the collaborative play of like, hey, all right, we're going to work as a team, even if we're not sitting in the same room, but I am going to give you freedom as a team to come up with a brand new way of I don't know, marketing this new product, or a brand new way of outreaching so we can get more clients, or outreaching so we can recruit better talent. But I'm going to give you, the team, more freedom to do it your way, right? That level of autonomy creates an opportunity for fun and play, rather than being like, let's have forced fun. Now we're going to have like icebreakers during Zoom. No, dude. Or, like, I hate forced fun. Walmart does that at the beginning of the day where they like sing a Walmart song. That's not fun, dude. That's not enjoyable. Like, you're not, like, the whole point of play is it's a choice. Like, remember when we were kids at a playground, you had a choice. You could choose not to play. You could choose to play swings, or, 500, or tag, or whatever, or you could just choose to just hang out and just do nothing. Right. So there has to be choice in the play. And if there's no choice, all of a sudden it becomes forced fun. And then that's frankly just as bad as just forcing people to work.
It might even be even
Worse. Might even be
than
worse.
the situation. Yeah,
Because
forcing
they're like singing a song together and they're like, I hate this song.
It's very true. Look, you are a ton of fun, and you like to create that fun environment. There's always someone who doesn't want to play in the playground when you're doing your stuff, when you're going to Orlando,
Yeah.
wherever you're going to go to your event. I imagine you've got some pretty creative tactics for trying to make inclusivity an option. Like, you're probably giving like hall passes or get out of jail free cards or whatever it might be at some point. But getting people engaged is actually one of the things I think you do phenomenally, whether it's on your stories, the way you tell stories, or in the activities you do. Talk about some of the fun ways that you can get people engaged when maybe they're not as into it as they want to be or could be.
Well, first off, I give people the freedom. I mean, I literally said this at a workshop. I was speaking at Ronald McDonald Charities at their conference. And before I even started, I was like, look, if this is not your jam, we're going to be interacting a lot. We're going to be connecting a lot, you know, and I'm just here as the facilitator or speaker, but like, this is not about me. It's about y'all connecting with each other. That's what makes things enjoyable. So we're going to be doing a lot of interaction. If that's not your jam and you don't feel it, I will not be offended if you walk out. Like, feel free. Like I get it. Like, this is, but I create an environment that is both extrovert and introvert friendly,
Right.
where we are going to be connecting, so we do like a ridiculous drawing exercise at the beginning where we have people like draw each other. And then I talk about why people feel all awkward doing this, because I'm really getting them back into the mode of tapping into what it was like when they were kids.
Yeah.
Because the best part about play is the lack of judgment that happens. We're constantly judging ourselves and judging each other as adults. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting to be around judgmental people. It's just not fun at all. So right at the beginning, I'm silly. I'm being ridiculous. I'm putting myself out there. I'm wearing this ridiculous Lego bow tie, so I'm already being like, I'm in costume. We're all in costume. So by me being silly, and I'm giving permission for other people to play first, right? Like, you have to be the first one on the dance floor willing to look stupid so that other people join you on the dance floor. And then maybe they join and maybe they don't, but at no point do I force it. At no point am I like, hey, why are you not playing? Dude, if you don't want to, totally get it. I even do this thing during I run this inner critic workshop where like people have to voice what their mean voice says to each other, and then I have them actually identify what their inner critic sounds like, looks like, and then we name it, and then we walk around and talk to each other as our inner critic. It's hilarious. People are like, like, my name's Frugal Frank, I'm Gargamel, my inner critic says I suck, I'm not enough, I'm a loser, I'm gonna be broke, like all these things. So everyone's interacting and laughing at the fact that they're laughing at their inner critic. But I also, in that same process, I recognize some people aren't ready for that. So I'm like, hey, there's a section where if you do not want to interact with anyone, you can either go to that section or just don't stand up. Just don't stand up. Just stay where you are. But I still want you to practice in your head the method that we're testing out. So I give people many different gradients, many different levels in which they can engage, rather than be like, this is the one way in which you have to engage.
I forgot to ask this to you, Jeff, the last time.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to Lego to have them give you more like custom Jeff Harry Lego ties? I'm
No,
not even
man.
kidding. We
I
got
mean,
it.
I
You know what?
used.
I'm doing that. I'm doing it for you. We're doing that in the spirit of reaching out, because I thought about this. Like, how cool would it be if you had like a whole slew of these, like, or even like you're going into certain companies and it's their colors, like as the tie. I think I'm on
That
it.
is true.
I'm on it. Thrive Love
That
Listeners,
is
you'll
true.
see it in the artwork.
Be on it. I mean, when I used to run the Lego thing, so I used to teach STEM programs way
Yeah.
back when it wasn't a thing. When STEM wasn't a thing, back in like 2004. And, I was part of this organization called Playwell, where we taught kids engineering through Lego. That's where we got the Lego bow tie idea in the first place. And then I just started wearing it at conferences as a bet. It was
Yeah.
a challenge of a friend of mine, or colleague of mine, because she was just like, yeah, just wear it. I challenge you to wear it. And what was interesting about wearing it was, all of a sudden, I attracted all the nerds, all the people that were like, yo, let's talk Star Wars. Yo, let's talk Marvel. And I'm like, yo, I'm down. So now I just wear it everywhere, because it gives people permission to just straight start nerding out with you about play and Lego, which is dope.
There's nothing more dope than that. I love asking guests these questions, and I never thought about this as it relates to the work that you do. But you have a gift that you give in enabling people to engage in play and understand how it can make the workplace a better place. And you are genuinely fun. You are. Just call it. You're a fun dude. You're a fun guy. But there's a gift that you get out of this. I love to understand almost like the rebound or the reverb effect that you feel after a workshop, after a message, after a talk, or whatever it is. What's the thing that gets Jeff Harry kind of like in his happy place after one of his workshops? So what's something that you see, or what's the thing that you need that makes you feel kind of like yummy?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can even find it. If I can't find it, then I'll try to paraphrase it. So
Okay.
someone recently wrote me a LinkedIn message where I was running a workshop on why gratitude and play matter in the workplace, right? And how those go hand in hand. And this one person wrote me and was like, I loved the workshop. It was so much fun, but more importantly, it gave me the bravery and the connection to reach out to someone I met there, and I got a new job because of that.
Hmm.
I got a job with someone that I actually played with during the workshop. And I was like, let's go, dude. Let's go. So what I love is, I love to see a glimpse into who people are when they were kids,
Yeah.
right? And then other people get to see that glimpse in other people without even having to meet them, right? Without even having to like know who they are. They're all of a sudden playing and being joyful, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what you were like when you were 3 years old. This is the core part of who you are. And when people feel seen and appreciated and heard like that in the middle of my workshop, that amps me up so much, because they have an epiphany about themselves, and they're like, oh, I need to play more and connect more, because this is a part of me that's really important. But also, other people are now appreciating them, and they're like, oh, I never thought people would appreciate that part of me. And then they become more bold as they go out for the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
They're much more playful for the rest of the conference. I even challenge people sometimes with various workshops where I'm like, you've now played here and connected with people. If you see someone outside the conference that's alone, right, or doom scrolling on their phone, spread some of that play wealth with them, right? Like, go up and interact with them, because you might be helping to heal them through play as well. And that just amps me up so much.
We got to do like a home and home on the workshops, because we do in the speakeasy. connect with every conversation workshop. Everybody's working on how they need to be in every conversation, and a lot of that is opening up to certain ideas. And one of the things you talk about, like ways the death scrolling on the phone, we actually came up with a fun way to make that process. Everybody starts out, they take their telephones, they put them in this big blank round table. Think of like in rounds on the tables there. And it's got the tablecloth, but there's nothing on it. And they all put it in there. And we kind of like fold up the tablecloth into like a big bag, almost like a Santa Claus bag. And we put it over the shoulder kind of carefully. And then we move it around. I walk around with it. Like everyone thinks I'm running out of the room with it. And then I put it back down. And I said, all right, here's the deal. You have to go in, you just have to pick any random phone, whatever it is. And you have to go find the other person, and the conversation you have to start is, what's with the screensaver, right? Whatever that is.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's really cool. Now, it can be embarrassing at times, but for most of it, it's a phenomenal conversation. And then the other person explains to the rest of the audience, not everybody, what's going on. The play going on in that scenario, forget it. You would have too much fun. Feel free to use it.
It's so much fun because think about why we grab our phones, right? We grab our phones for connection.
Yes.
We grab our phones because no one's seeing us right now. No one's acknowledging us. So I'm going to go get my dopamine hit from Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or Twitter or news, which usually doesn't do well when you look at news as well, because you're like, I'm just looking for some sort of reaction. Rather than us just sitting in the awkwardness of being awkward, alone. But when you're able to do that, that's when the best opportunities actually show up, right? That's when you actually lock eyes with somebody, and then you're like, oh my gosh, here's a play thing. I'm going to walk up to this person and be like, what's up with this conference? And then all of a sudden you're talking about it, right? Maybe you're just complaining about the fact that it's kind of weird at the conference, but at least now all of a sudden you're bonding with someone. And frankly, and I tell this to conference coordinators and organizers all the time, all they need is one amazing interaction to come back to your conference.
Yes.
Just one. But what are you as an organizer, or a facilitator doing to foster that so that they can have those conversations?
Let's do the admin part of the show, and we're going to have an extended version of Fun Street because I've got Mr. Fun here in January. So let's do this. Give the websites, URL, social handles, plug everybody. We will put it in the show notes, but always gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
Sure. So if people want to cause mischief in the workplace with me, so that we can actually start healing workplaces, they simply go to rediscoveryourplay.com. And then you just simply click on the Let's Play button, and then we just talk about what type of mischief we want to cause, and we talk about how we can make work suck less at your organization. And then if you want to see my ridiculous videos, simply go to at Jeff Harry Plays, JeffHarryPlays, and that's at everything: TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Medium, and YouTube.
We I don't know if you saw, I put a post out when Elon Musk changed the name to X.
Oh my gosh!
And I know you're in the neighborhood over there. I know you're in Northern California. So I just put out a request. Like, look, I don't know if you're going to watch this video or not, but we need your help. You managed to get an X on top of a building like overnight, and nobody knew about it. Is there any chance potentially that you can help all of us change all of our websites to URLs and everywhere that we have the little birdie? Because the birdie's been on everything, and if you want to switch it over to the X, it's going to take too much time to do.
It's going to take too much time.
Can you send that an algorithm or something that'll do it? It'll help us tremendously. So
right. But I don't even understand. I mean, talk about a guy who in less than what? Well, he started in October. What do we we're talking about 8 months? In 8 months, he's run it into the ground. Like, talk about the perfect example of what not to do. And then even now, when I go to Twitter, because I have to post on all the platforms, when I see that X actually motivates me not to post.
It's got like a negative I mean, I'm not saying it's the variable. It's like, like I feel like it's Family Feud. And I've gotten one of the answers wrong, and that's what they put up on the screen, right? That's what I'm at.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
And do we need to say like we don't tweet it anymore? We're going to exit?
I know.
And does that mean exit the building? I'm a little
exactly because that's what most people are doing when they're there. Let's just be honest about what's happening. So,
All right, so we're gonna do Fun Street here. I can't. We did it the first time that you were on the program, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Okay,
We're getting
so
into the streets. I'm all about these fun
yes,
streets.
oh, the Fun Street, and as we know, what we do ever since Diana Kander sent me a speakeasy shot glass, we take a shot of liquid courage of whatever it is. Usually, it could be hydration, or if you're really that part of the day. Although we're recording this midday on a Tuesday, might be a little early. But that being said, we're gonna take our little liquid courage and dive down here, and I'll start off with this, Jeff. Is there a recent streaming show or something that you still that's your favorite one, the one that you're like, oh, I can't wait till the next episode comes out, or something that's binge worthy for you?
I mean, it's now over, but Ted Lasso,
No,
dude.
it's
Ted
just
Lasso
amazing.
all day long.
Yeah.
You know, talk about the perfect example of healthy masculine and healthy feminine leadership in real time. Oh, I still go back and watch clips of that show like almost every day. And
I
I'll
get a
probably
lot of
love that
social
show for the
feeds.
next, yeah,
Yeah,
next
I
5 years. I'll be watching that.
yeah, I could watch anything with Roy, of him saying anything just over and over again, just
Oh
because
yeah.
it's some of the
I
fun
mean,
stuff.
I think I don't know if I even told you this. Over the last 2 years, I did a podcast called "What Would Ted Lasso Do"
No,
with
I know.
my friend and colleague Dimple Dabalia, where we just broke down the show through the lens of positive psychology and play. And now it's completely done. So if people
Yeah.
are rewatching the show, they can check it out. What would Ted Lasso do? But I loved watching it through that lens, because I was like, I didn't even realize the level of psychological techniques used in that show. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal for
There's
something that's only a half-hour show. It's
true.
really packed in there, and it's one of the only shows that ever showed what the most accurate version of what an anxiety attack looks like.
Yeah. I'll say that the coach like leadership that was led throughout, all about listening, which they talked about his curiosity in the first season. I show that clip from the first season all the time when I do a gig about being curious. And I can't get over how you watch that entire last season, and what you didn't realize is how he's listening to every single one of the characters he has a connection with, and is establishing how they let them be a goldfish or figure out what their next step is. But as he's trying to navigate through his, you don't think he's got all the great coachingness out there. You think it's just kind of like happening around him, almost Forrest Gump like. But it's quite brilliant and wonderful, as is all of the characters that you grow to love afterwards. So I'm with you. It's one of the it's like top 3 for me.
Easily for me, easily.
Okay,
and yeah. So
no, keep going. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and the reason why I consider it, so high is because also the writers challenge basic storyline tropes, and they're like, we're not going to do that trope, right? We're not going to actually do the happy ending in the regular way. We're just not. We're going to blow that up and then challenge your perception as to why you need it a certain way. Because what's interesting is a lot of fans near the end were angry at the show because they thought it would go one way and it didn't go the other way. And then you had to analyze that, right? You had to explore that. And that's what makes a good show. That's what makes a good movie, right? I've been having so many conversations about Barbie because it's one of the first movies ever to talk about patriarchy in such a specific way. So when you have these shows that actually get people agitated and frustrated and passionate, those are the best ones because it causes people to challenge each other's understanding.
I lost my interest in patriotism when I learned it wasn't all about horses.
I know, right?
It was so brilliant.
Look at that. It was so good. And the perfect actor to do it. Right?
Can we talk about
because Ryan Gosling has done The Notebook and Drive and all these movies where he's played the the savior, and now he's mocking it. And I was like, that's amazing that this actor can do this. And I give cred to Mattel for approving that movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, talk about an example of a company that could have just quashed that, but instead they're like, hey, I don't even know why they approved it, but they did. But now all of a sudden I have a little bit more respect for the organization because they can laugh at themselves.
Oh, and they did. And they made themselves the center of the joke. I mean, like literally, like it's so pretty brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah.
We're probably going to have like a special Barbie episode or something like that. I think it's going to happen. I'll invite you in, Jeff, if it happens.
Bring me in. Bring me in. Let's go.
All right. We're going to do the speed round down. We'll call it the Speakeasy Pub Crawl, where we're basically just going to ask you a bunch of questions, whatever comes to your mind. These are things that lift you up, motivate you, basically make you thrive, which you're all about. Ready?
I'm ready.
Of late, does Jeff Harry have a song or a jam that he likes to hear more often than not?
Yes. I actually start a lot of my Zoom calls with this. It's a Caribbean song called Drink Water and Mind Your Own Business.
Okay. Who sings that song?
I don't even know. I don't even know what her name is. Let me look it up. Drink
water and mind your own business. Brilliant.
Mind my business. Yeah, but Patrice Roberts, Happy Poppy Rhythm, and it's called Mind My Business.
I like it.
And she literally is like, I go drink water and mind my business, and that's it. That's it. Like, stay hydrated, mind your business. You don't need to be in someone else's business.
I like it. Okay, a favorite food that is not a dessert.
Ooh, a favorite food that's not a dessert. Where am I going right now? Aurelio's Pizza in Homewood, Illinois.
This is
my favorite pizza. It's a bar pizza. A lot of people don't realize deep dish pizza is not what Chicago is known for. It's bar pizza. That's what it's known for. Thin crust, square, pizzas in like some dive bar. So yeah, Aurelio's Pizza is my jam. I have it my mom and I were born on the same day. I was born on her birthday. So we always celebrate. Right? Either good or bad, depending. But we always have our celebration at Aurelio's in Homewood, Illinois.
I wonder if Dave Portnoy and One Bite Pizza, if he's done the review there. He does all the reviews from Barstool.
I'm going to the contest.
Oh, you're going?
You're
going to
I'm going to New York. I bought tickets so I could go to it because I've driven around all of Connecticut and had many of the pizzas he's had. I haven't done the ones in Jersey. I've done a bunch of the ones he said in New York. So yeah, I'm going to that.
So yeah, me and a buddy of mine will give a shout out to Jeff Dorst, who was on the infamous during the middle of the pandemic. We actually did an interview 6 feet separated by 6 feet on a table. Literally had a table keeping us apart doing an interview. But he and I, we just did a little bit of a Brooklyn West Village pizza tour and went through a whole bunch of stops. Great, surprising places in Brooklyn, but we didn't get to DeFaro's, which is too far off the beaten track, which is unbelievable. I grew up with that pizza, and that's like a high one, but there's some good ones.
Is DeFaro's the one in Bay Ridge?
No, it's kind of in the middle of Brooklyn, like almost. I think it's on Avenue M and Avenue J. It's on Avenue J in the middle of Brooklyn. It's not in Bay Ridge, but there's some other ones that are out there. But that's if you. I wouldn't be surprised because they did so well in the score. They're probably at the event.
They're probably going to be there.
They would get an invite. Let's put it that way. But I mean, Sally's and all those places. The DeLuccia's, the one from Jersey that's in Raritan. That place is insane.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna like.
Okay, I'm gonna know.
So I'm a fan of the whole contest, and I'm glad you're going. That's awesome. We'll talk about that after.
I'm in search of the best pizza and best burger on earth, so I'm always looking. So I have to go because it's the collection of so many.
You probably shouldn't. You probably won't want pizza for like a month after that.
No, I won't. No, 8 months, but I'm still going to do it.
Okay. A favorite dessert?
Ooh, favorite dessert. Oh, mango sticky rice, Thai mango sticky rice. Especially if you have it on the streets of Bangkok or Chiang Mai. Oh my gosh, dude. It is so, because it's literally rice, condensed milk, and mango. Like, come on. How could you? And you're just eating it off the street in the middle of like traffic and it's chaos everywhere. And you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten.
An activity you wish you did more of?
Ooh. I want to roller skate more.
No,
I don't have any roller skates.
Blade or skate?
I think I want to go blade. I'm a blade guy. But I don't have any roller skates. Like I really gotta take a notch from Ken at Barbie and be like, I bring these skates wherever I go. Of course I bring these skates. So I need to get some yellow rollerblades, and I need to get back out there because I haven't been out there in a minute. Yeah.
An activity you wish you did less of?
Complaining, like
I don't see you as someone that's complaining a lot.
Oh,
No?
dude, I still complain. I still am petty. I still am in other people's business that I shouldn't be.
Hence
I
the
should
reason
be
you're
staying
listening
more.
to Drink Your Water.
I need to be drinking more water and minding my business. But like, I get a little petty sometimes, and then I want to go on some rant, and then afterwards I feel icky about it. It's like eating Cheetos. Like, it's good for the first like few bites, and then you're like, oh, I've eaten way too many Cheetos. I've complained way too much today. And you can feel it. Like, you can feel it on your body.
A new activity that you've recently tried, new to you, that is, that you liked so much, you want to tell everybody else to try it.
This is actually a really fun one.
Yeah.
So I started buying chocolates, pre-wrapped chocolates. I get them from Trader Joe's because that's the cheapest ones. And then I write a thank you letter and I give it to the flight attendants whenever I go on a plane.
Oh, that's really
And I've been
sweet.
doing it for the last 6 months. I used to do it on and off, but now I've been consistently doing it. And it feels so good. Like, it's amazing. I've seen flight attendants that have been in tears. People have given me champagne bottles. Like, I was flying back from Vancouver recently, and they gave me like 2 champagne. I was like, I don't even need this, and they just start because I write in the letter like, hey, these past few years have been really challenging, and us passengers have been awful. And I'm sorry that we've been so awful. But just know that some of us really appreciate you. We appreciate your persistence, your patience, your resilience, and just know that, thank you for what you do and thank you for who you are, because I know you've had to go through a lot. And man, the reaction is amazing. And sometimes they don't react. And sometimes I feel bad when they don't react. I'm like, oh, they didn't give me any attention or anything. But then all of a sudden, yeah, they'll read, or they're just nicer to everyone else on the plane.
Yeah.
So there's like a ripple effect to think about. Like, even if you just wrote the card, maybe you don't have time to give chocolates or whatever, just simply saying the thank you and then hand writing that, it changes their day. And then I think of all the people that are then on those flights with them. I love doing that. So much fun.
An act of kindness goes a long way.
Yeah.
If I could snap my fingers, Jeff Harry, and you can be anywhere in the world, where are you?
And what am I doing?
No, I didn't ask what you're doing. I just want to know where you're going.
Oh, where am I going? Oh, well, I am going to England to watch Liverpool play in English Premier League.
So I think we talked about this.
Which I am going in a month to do. So let's go.
I could snap my fingers right now. I think you know that I'm a big Arsenal fan. So we did have a little bit of tension here about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to the Tottenham Liverpool game.
Oh, nice. Well, and Liverpool should beat the crap out of them because Tottenham just lost their best player, and I don't see them doing it.
Exactly.
Well, Jeff Harry, man, making work suck less is just freaking awesome. But as every listener's got a chance to do, I love these acts of kindness. I think your message of what you're trying to do and creating that safe environment, keep doing what you're doing, my friend. And I'm so glad I got to bring you back on. I'm so glad we got to witness some guy do the worm on the carpet. Hopefully that gentleman, wherever you are, is okay. Because I said that man is going to be hurting in the morning. That's all I can say.
Seriously. Or hurting for the rest of the year. Possibly. So that level of stamina, worm stamina.
Raising a speakeasy glass to you, I'm going to have to go reach out to Lego and figure out ways to get you way more bow ties in different colors. I think that'll be awesome.
I love it. Thanks so much for having me. This is so awesome.
You got it. To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. Remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
Drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud.
And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.